Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Learn From Us podcast. Paul, you look dapper today.
Thank you very much. You do too.
I love your watch.
Thank you.
I got embarrassed at a bar a couple weeks ago.
I feel bad about that. You shouldn't feel embarrassed by that.
Oh, okay, then maybe I won't bring it up, but I was like...
I don't care if you bring it up.
Paul's a big watch guy. I am too, except I have one watch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
It's like my go-to. And Paul had a really nice watch on. It wasn't incredibly. It wasn't like a Rolex or something. Was it Burberry or something?
Yeah, but it was like, even you hear that, you're like, oh, it wasn't expensive.
No. And I was like, oh, I love this watch. And we were in a group of people, and it was kind of loud. I love this watch. And Paul just goes, you know what? Take it. It's yours. And I froze. It's like, I can't accept a gift from Paul in front of everybody. And I was like, no.
Maybe I was wrong for doing that. I feel bad. And then Mo's like, yeah, I like that watch. I didn't give it to Mo. That's because Mo's rich.
Well,
text the rich.
He'll pay his fair share. Don't worry, Paul.
Yes, exactly.
No, I mean, so I froze up. I was like, yeah, I love this watch, but I don't want to accept it as a gift. But anyway, so I had to text Paul because Beth's like, I think you like made Paul mad. Like
0. You guys have like missed a lot of things like lately in terms of like what have you think 0. I was just like, okay, cool.
Well, you do run a pretty tight ship, and so we try and like. Listen, I hired you for our business to get us in line.
Yeah.
And so, like, we try to, like, do right things like you train us to do, right?
Yeah, but what does it do with a watch?
Well, I think maybe the right thing to do was just be like, yeah, I'll take the watch. Thanks for the offer.
Either way would have been fine with me.
Either way,
if you said to me, oh, that's really nice of you, I'm like, yeah, no problem. And if you said to me, like, no, it's fine, what you did, you're like, I can't, I don't want to. You said, I don't like the rubber band.
That's true. I would never wear a watch with a rubber band. But then you get into this awkward thing where, wait a minute, someone just gifted me, and I'm like, I love the watch. Is there a gift receipt with this watch?
By the way, it wasn't like a gift like, hey, Seth, I got you something. Here you go. That's a lot different than, oh, I really like this watch. I was like, all right, have it. Take it.
Well, it was great. What else did I want to ask you? Damn, I just froze up.
That was a topic you had?
No, not at all. So I come to Paul with some topics. And if we start talking about topics in our personal life, like if we're not having drinks, but if Paul has a Coke and I have a drink in my hand, and we save personal life conversations for the podcast. So sometimes I hit him with like,
because if you start talking about it, then all of a sudden we're 30 minutes into a deep conversation.
That's right. Yes. And we stay up too late, and yeah. So Paul put an ad out on Craigslist.
Yes, I did.
For a job.
Casual encounter. Oh yeah, for the job.
Men seeking women.
Yeah, men seeking men.
Tell me about this story you told me, or at least you started to tell me.
Well, I put on LinkedIn as well. I put a job out there paying essentially, because I'm going to cover your taxes for you, $20 per hour. So for a full day, $160. Come to my house, clean, and do some assistant type things at my house.
Like?
Ironing, picking up packages, dropping off dry cleaning, taking trash out.
Taking the dogs to the
Well, I'm bringing the dog grooming in-house because I have a great dog. And I'll talk about her next too, because she's part of the story, how great she is. So I put this ad out.
What about cooking?
I already have somebody to cook for me.
Okay.
And she's going to stay on. In fact, I offered her the extra day, and she said, I can't. I take care of my grandkids.
Now, I know the listeners out there are probably scoffing at this,
yeah, like
but what Paul really has is like an older woman that comes to his house and makes like prepped meals of chicken and potatoes and vegetables and puts like 3 of them in the refrigerator. And this is all, you're not very finicky eater. You're not very, you just kind of like heap something up and eat it.
I'm picky in the sense of I like what I like, but I'm not picky in the sense of it has to be something fancy. It's not at all fancy. Like she makes great vegetable lasagna. She makes great meatballs.
Yeah, so she'll make Paul like 30 meatballs, and he just puts it in the fridge. And again, he lives by himself, folks. So it's not like he's like, you're not going to cook some big ass meal.
No, I literally have the computer open while I'm playing chess,
and then
I'm eating at the same time, or I'm doing my whatever I'm doing, right? So it's kind of like you say cook or chef, and everybody's like, "Ooh, wow!"
Right, some guy with like the white hat and like a sous chef.
And he's yelling people like, "Paul needs this right now. He's brought 2 more people over." No, it's more like, "Hey, Rosie, thanks for making me this food. It tastes delicious." She's like, "Oh, I'm glad you like it," and she loves to cook, so it works out for everybody, and she makes money doing it. So I need to find out somebody to clean my house for me because I separated from my person who's cleaned my house before, and I needed
you did?
Yes.
He gone?
Adios, muchacho.
You didn't like his style anymore?
No, he I felt like I worked for him in his eyes. Like if it wasn't something that was directly within his
Wait.
Yes. If it wasn't directly within if there was an issue with something, he would say, you go handle it and then I'll do my job, as opposed to, no, that's part of your job is to go handle the things that fall underneath your job. Like if you can't do X, which is your responsibility, you need to go make it happen so you can do X.
Was this a communication issue that we weren't clear on that maybe?
No, if you ask Lisa and other people who've dealt with them, it's more like, I only do this. Don't ask me to deviate.
Did you yourself let him know, or was it an email or
I let him know.
phone call or
text?
Text.
Yes.
And what did the text say?
It just said, hey, when he wrote that, I said, wow. I said, you know what?
You want to tell a story?
Well, I don't know if he listens to it or not. I don't think he listens to the podcast. Funny thing is, I reached out to him recently asking if he wanted to take care of my dogs every so often. And he's like, no, I don't think I should. I'm like, okay. Because he loved my dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, the story was...
Oh, I can tell. It's just so simple. It's just something...
he said, hey, I can't do this. I said, okay, call the trash company and figure out when. I said, let me know what the trash company says. He goes, I think you mean you let me know what the trash company says. And I was just like, wow. And then I wrote back, I said, listen, let's take a week off. I need to figure out if you're the right person to get the things done that I need done. And the reason, 6 months ago, Paul would have had a hard time saying that. Mm-hmm. Now I'm like, you know what? I don't want to spend my time doing things like calling the trash company, because I have things to think about, like having to do with business, and people rely on, like
16 businesses.
I'd rather spend more time with Crossroads Creative than spend time calling the trash company to figure out why the trash wasn't picked up this day, or what the rules are on trash pickups, right?
Calling these companies have been completely...
Now, I sound very snobby right now, going like, oh my God, he won't. It's not that I won't call the trash company. It's like, no, I just have the ability now to be able to focus my time and give somebody the opportunity to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I put a new ad out there.
Craigslist and LinkedIn.
I got 3 or 4. No, I didn't put it on LinkedIn. I put that story on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I got 3 or 4 decent responses. I got like 10 terrible responses. 3 or 4 decent ones. Set up a point, set up a day and time. Be here. Here's my address. If you need to bring somebody with you to feel safe, go right ahead.
This is your house or the office?
My house.
Not the office.
Nope. I said, listen, I want to show you the house because you have to understand what you're cleaning, etc. Bring somebody if you don't feel comfortable. Bring somebody with you. I don't care. Here's my cell phone number. Let's set it up.
Go on.
So far right now, it was before 2. As of yesterday, it's the 3rd no call, no show.
No call, no show.
So when I hear people talk about, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to do this, people also want to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. This pay was higher than that, and still no call, no show. Folks, if you think this is a one-off, go put an ad on Craigslist for the exact same thing and tell me what percentage of people show up.
But the Mexicans are taking our jobs, Paul.
But the Mexicans are taking our jobs, exactly. It's like, no, the Mexicans are willing to work. They're willing to show up. Now, are there, I'm sure, bad Mexicans? Sure, I'm sure there are. But people were so lazy. I mean, it's like, literally, I'm willing to pay you cash every single day. I even told Lisa, I'm like, you know what I should do? I will give you $50 just to show up the interview. By the way, you know what's come to now? The third person wasn't a no-call, no-show. We set it all up. I confirmed with them, and they wrote back, oh, I'm out of town that day. Then why'd you set up the appointment for that day? I just ignored them. Because they weren't going to call her, or they weren't going to call or show up. Because she knew she was out of town. I emailed her the day 2 days before, and she's like, oh, I'm out of town that day. I'm like, you knew that. You knew you were going to be out of town. And and by the way, I knew that. She knew. Somebody might be listening going, well, maybe it was a new trip. First off, even if it was a new trip, hey, Paul, something just popped up. I had to be out of town. Didn't hear from that. But 2, she had told me I'm going to be out of town until Wednesday. And now all of a sudden it's Thursday. She needs to be out of town until. So anyhow, I don't want to hear people complain that people want to work. I don't want to hear people say that people are hardworking. I don't want to hear any of this shit. I don't want to hear that unemployment's great when it's low. It is not. It's terrible. This is what I deal with. This is the frustration I have, Seth.
I read an article today about a guy who's a CEO of a company.
Yep.
He's got about 120 workers. Mm-hmm. And he just reduced his personal salary by 90%.
Okay.
To distribute that wealth so that everyone in his company within the next 5 years has a minimum salary of $70,000.
Oh, that was in Seattle.
Yeah. Who is this guy?
I don't know, but it ended up there was something about it that didn't go well.
Oh, it's all smiling and wonderful from what I'm seeing.
Is it? Great. And guess what? You know what I say to him? More power to you. Go do it. I applaud that. What I don't applaud is the government telling me, Paul, in order to pay your workers more than other workers, we're going to take 90% of your money and give it to them. That's a no-no.
See, that's a monumental.
That to me is a no-no. If I choose to do that, great. Seth, I chose to give you a watch the other day. To me, the way I looked at it was, Seth, consider it a bonus. Consider it a thank you for doing a great job in the podcast. Consider it this. Whatever it is, whatever you consider it, I'm going to make that $300 back from Crossroads Creative in no time. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm sure Crossroads Creative owes me, whatever. Fine.
We do.
I don't care, but the whole point was that's the way I looked at it. But to me, that was going to give me a lot more. Every time you looked at watch now, you're going to be like, oh, Paul was very nice to me. You know what I mean?
I actually think the same because you gave a watch to Tim, and I see it on Tim, and I think, oh, well, nice. That's nice. It's all very nice.
And Tim likes it.
He looks great.
Yeah. But either way, I applaud anybody who wants to take action on themselves to go take a pay cut. I've taken pay cuts before in order to keep the business, in the positive.
Remember when you were trying to get your new home loan, they were telling you.
Yeah. My new home loan, we talked about it on the podcast, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well, the bank was upset because you reinvested too much money.
Yeah, they said that they don't pay yourself enough.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that's pretty rich because I live a really good life off the money, but they want to see me take more money into my personal account. But either way, I applaud anybody who wants to do it on their own. More power to you. You want to pay yourself 90% less in order to give it to your employees? Absolutely. Have fun.
So where are you left with this job?
I don't know. I asked Don. Don's in charge of it now. Right, Don? Right, Don?
He's listening to something.
Yeah, he's on something else. But John's our recruiter. I'm like, Don, I need your help. You need to find me somebody to do this.
You can't even find a $20 an hour job of cleaning a mansion? I don't like to say a mansion, but
$20 an hour to and by the way, when I say clean, I'm a very clean person.
I don't even know what you're talking about. The place is flawless, folks.
No,
you make your own bed in the morning.
I do.
There's not laundry laying around. There's absolutely okay. Let me refresh. There's hardly anything out of place in your whole house.
But things need to be dusted still. I still need to vacuum things. Still, things need to be mopped because I'm not one of those guys who's the don't wear your shoes in the house guy.
That's true.
Everybody wear your shoes wherever you go. I don't care. You know why? Somebody will vacuum it up. I don't care. Like I don't want to be that guy's like, oh, don't touch that. Don't touch that. No, I love it when people start to take their shoes off. I'm like, don't take your shoes off. This is a house. Just like, come on in.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Well, it's not very nice to me. It's like, it's ridiculous to say to people, come to my house and then here are the rules. Besides regular rules like don't hang from the ceiling, like, don't take my dogs and, punch them or something like that. Like, those are the rules that we want to live by. But walking through a house with shoes, I do it.
So you can't fill this position.
It's really hard.
Gosh.
So here's the funny part. So then so about 2 months ago, I needed somebody to come take care of my dog. I like my dogs interacting with people every day. So I put an ad on Nextdoor, which I should still do. I should do that again right now. I put an ad on Nextdoor. It's this website that has everybody in your neighborhood and surrounding areas. And I said, I'm looking for somebody to come spend 2 hours with my dogs every day. I will pay you $30 a day cash, $15 an hour cash. All you need to do is take them for walks and play with them.
$30 for 2 hours?
For 2 hours. I get a message from a lady. My niece works nights. This would be perfect for her. She loves dogs, etc. I said, okay, give me your niece's number. Now this niece is in her 20s, and I'm like, here we go. Meet me this day, this time.
Just because she's in her 20s?
Yeah, they're kids. They're gonna be scatterbrained.
Okay.
Shows up 10 minutes early.
You love that.
Love that. Not a big talker. Paul, how do I do this? How do I do this? I'm going to hey, are you okay if I get you trained on the devices, the collar things? Absolutely. Seth, I don't hear from her. She's perfect.
She's doing it.
I have the security system tells me when she logs in, logs out, 11:30 to 1:30. And it's never 11:30 or after, and it's never before 1:30. I asked her to send me a picture every day. Sometimes she sends me the picture at 2 o'clock because she's on her way home. Or she's getting home.
Sure.
Fully reliable, doesn't blow up my phone, doesn't do anything. I've asked her, hey, are you open to grooming? Paul, I've never done it before, but I would love to learn. I go, I'd be willing to pay you extra if you're willing to groom. I said to her the other day, are you willing to pick up another day? Paul, I'd love to do the work. She's perfect. She doesn't bother me. She doesn't talk too much. She doesn't act entitled. She's there every single day. She hasn't taken a day off. She hasn't had any crap. I'm just like, this person's perfect. So there are great people out there.
Yeah.
That's why she has a job. And my only fear is that she finally gets sick of the late night job and she goes, I need to work during the day, and Paul, I can't do this anymore for you.
Yeah.
She's great. She's phenomenal. Seth, I don't even worry. Oh, she's not there today. It's a Thursday. She comes Tuesday, Wednesdays.
Just 2 days a week?
Yep, and I'm gonna add a third day for her. I'm gonna add her Fridays. And you know what? When her time comes, here are some toys for the dogs. Play with them every day. I tell her, I'm like, listen, I just want you to sit with them. I don't care if you're playing.
Can she do stuff while?
Yeah, I told her, I'm like, go on your phone. I don't care. Just make sure you take the dogs for a walk. If we need stool samples for the vet, which we do often, make sure you collect those. She does that all the time. Plays with the dogs, etc.
She needs to do our Instagram while she's sitting there.
Well, I don't. You're right. I don't know if that's the thing she does, but I'm gonna get her. I'm remodeling my house, and I decided to expand my laundry room. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make my laundry room into a dog grooming area. I'm gonna make a portion of it into a dog grooming area. That way she can do it.
You're gonna get people to come to your house to groom your dogs?
No, I'm gonna get her to do it while she's there. She's gonna get trained to do it.
It's really hard.
I don't know if it's really hard. She's worried to do it, but I mean, it's not very hard. Why is it hard? It's shampoo and cutting. By the way,
you ever cut a dog?
Worst case scenario, just shampoo them and dry them off. I don't care.
Oh, I was gonna say I've probably cut 22,000 haircuts in my life.
Yeah.
I'm actually quite good at it, including my own. And cutting a dog, even one that's nice, is
I will say
difficult.
this then. What's more important to me though is that she gets the bathing and the drying done.
Yeah, well, that's a process.
And then every 8 weeks or how often you get Lenny cut?
Something like that. Yeah. Then
every 2 months I have them get cut.
Yeah, they do it quite well at the other places.
Yeah, they do it very well.
It's like $50 too.
That's the problem. It's $45 a dog. So every 2 weeks, and I'm insane. I put them every 2 weeks. That's do the math.
You can usually stretch that to 3 weeks, right? I like.
Oh, you can probably stretch it to 6 weeks, 8 weeks. But the whole point is, I look at it going, here's a great person who's reliable, who had a great background check, doesn't bother me. Like literally, the problem I had all the time is people text me all the time, like, what do you want me to do? She just handles it.
You said she's young?
26, 27, something like that.
Oh, I think that's a little older than I don't have to think. It is older than 22, but a little like I think it's older.
Carry that. Yeah, it is. That is older. Yes.
Yeah. So
it's always frustrating for me when people say oh, all these people want to work. I'm like, really? Where are they?
We had cleaning ladies down in Columbus, and we paid them, $70, $80 for about 3.5 hours worth of work.
I know, they're expensive. So I had a cleaning lady who was $30 an hour, and I said to her, I'm fine with that, but you got to be flawless. She was not flawless.
Well, I guess my point is, you're offering a job at $20 an hour. So, it's.
And she was not flawless either. That's the thing. I said, hey, to me, for 30, and Lisa made the good point. She came over one night. She's like, Paul, for $30 an hour, she should be catching these. And at first I was like, Lisa, don't wear them. I was like, you know what? Lisa's right. She's like, Paul, if it was $15, $20 an hour, I'd be like, okay, this makes sense, whatever. But it was $30 an hour. And the second thing was, I said to her, first day, 8 hours. I'm fine with that. From there on out, I only want 4 hours from you. Second time she came, 9 hours. And I was like, what happened to the 4 hours? She's like, well, I never decide until the third or fourth time how many hours I do. I'm like, no, that's not what I said. I was like, I said 4 hours. You should have said, Paul, I can't do it in 4 hours. I'd been fine with that. Mm-hmm. Paul, I'd love to work for you, but I can't do these things in 4 hours. And by the way, you can. Lisa's done them 1,000 times. And I always tell Lisa she's too slow. Either way, the whole point I'm trying to make is I'm not trying to sound snobby when I talk about I need this person to help me. But you do these things and you add it all up. You're like, hey, this is somebody. And I tell everybody who works for me, the more reliable you are and the more I rely on you, you're going to have job security forever because I don't want to do these things. These are going to be the things you get to do. I love playing with my dogs at night. I like having them in bed with me. But during the day, I don't want them sitting in a laundry room all day long doing nothing but laying there. I want them to have some interaction. And 2 hours of interaction to going on a walk, playing with somebody, how wonderful is that?
I asked you last Friday. I was like, oh, man, I thought this was a crazy-ass question. I said, normal people like myself, one of the things people do is sit around and talk about, man, if I had $1 million, what would I do with it?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I'd go on vacation, or I'd buy this car, or I'd do this and I'd do that. And then it hit me what do people like you that could probably almost buy, well, not whatever you wanted, but so what do you?
I can't buy a sports team.
What do you strive for if?
Free time.
Really?
That's what I do. I mean, listen, think about it. Could I clean my house? Could I do my laundry? By the way, I actually enjoy doing laundry and doing dishes and vacuuming. I actually enjoy doing those in the sense of, I shouldn't say enjoy. Those don't make me go, oh, those make me just go, okay, I'll do them. But wiping things, I don't like doing that. But I look at going, I like doing my activities that I do now, and I need free time to do that. I do them during the day. I do them at night. I like working on the businesses and thinking about the businesses. I like doing those things. I like spending time with the dogs. I have a niece now, which I hopefully over as time goes on, I'll spend more time with her. I have a girlfriend now, and we spend time together. Like going to her house is an hour just there and back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So all I'm looking for is how do I spend $30,000 a year, which is what I spend for those people to do all those things around my house to eliminate it for me. Cutting grass, snow plowing, cooking for me. All these things should cost me between $25 and $30 a year. And to me, that's a no-brainer.
Because of the amount of money you can make on the back end by not doing it.
Yeah. By freeing my time to do something else. Even if it's not me making money, it's just also, man, you know how awesome it is? I go in my garage and go, this needs to be reorganized. And I just take a picture of it and say, we need to reorganize this. And it gets done. Or me sitting there saying like, okay, now I can go spend time on a business. And literally people don't realize that. Like, yes, could I think about my businesses while I'm vacuuming? Yeah, but what if I get an idea and I had to call somebody for? You can't vacuum and call somebody. It's just, and everybody who might criticize that, everybody would want to do it.
Yeah.
Like food. I eat healthier because I have somebody cooking for me. I eat way healthier. Because if it wasn't for that, I'd be eating out every single day. We aren't all great chefs like Seth.
I do well. I have some go-to favorite meals.
You made a great pizza the other night.
Did we? We had pizza. I have made pizza before, and it's great.
Seth was supposed to. I was supposed to go to Seth's house for dinner, and then your mother called and was like, "Hey, I'll take the boys and the dog."
Yeah.
So you were like, "Hey, Paul, we'll come over for pizza," which I loved. I was like, "Absolutely!" And that pizza was effing good pizza.
Murray's Pizza in Wadsworth. Check it out, y'all.
Yeah, it was great.
Well, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us. A little shorter of a podcast today. I just want to get Paul's thoughts on
the employees, people out there. I just get really bothered when people are like, "Oh, everybody wants to work. Like these people work hard." I'm like, "Oh, so I once had somebody tell me like, what's only happening to you?" I'm like, "I can guarantee you right now, you go set up 10 interviews, you'll be lucky if 4 show up. Lucky." When I say set up interviews, I mean like literally this time, this date, are we confirmed? Yes, they won't show. And this doesn't matter if it's college grad. Yeah, college grad will probably show up at a higher rate. But right, Don? Oh, you're not paying attention. Forget it.
It's okay, Don. You're good.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I was shocked by that story too.
I'm not shocked anymore. What I was shocked by was, I shouldn't say this. I was shocked by how many people confirmed and still didn't show up. No call, no show.
It's crazy.
Oh, I got a text the other night from one of them, an email saying, "Oh, my phone broke and I couldn't get a hold of you." I was like, "So your email?" And I'm thinking to myself, like, go to the library and get your email. Your email's a Yahoo email. I mean, that's a lie. It's a complete fabrication.
I had a friend along these similar lines. Like I have a friend who owns a business in Columbus, and I had another friend of a friend. I didn't really know this. It was like his wife, and she wanted to get in this business. I was like, "Hey, I got an in. Let me introduce you, talk you up. I know your family. Let's go." This business had recently moved around the corner. Imagine there's a big building, and they're at one corner, like down the side street.
Yeah.
They literally just moved to the front of the building on another wall. And it's just like no call, no show. Now I'm standing at the business trying to introduce this schmuck to a friend of mine. And she calls me an hour later and says, "Yeah, I went to this address and it wasn't there. And then my phone died and I don't have a charger." And that was the end of it. I was like...
By the way, you're supposed to accept that as like, "Oh, that makes sense." And me, I'm just like, where do I start on that whole process of
I don't even know. I'm like, walk into any place. I'm here to hand deliver you a job. Your first job out of getting out of this skills school. And like, there's businesses all around, all over. Payphones, businesses. I'll walk in and ask just like,
"Hey, can I use your phone?"
Real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
You're not going to believe this story. I go out to dinner last night to this wing place with the boys.
Which wing place?
Fisher's up in Peninsula.
Oh, it's great.
Of course.
Yeah.
There's a Cadillac there.
Yeah.
By the way, I told you about the Cadillac, right?
No.
Oh, my God. I'm walking in. Peninsula's like this little cute little town, folks, by the Cuyahoga Valley National Park. And I'm walking with Beth, and, like, there's my dream car. It's like a 76 Cadillac Eldorado convertible. That baby blue, it's got the big wheel, the white wall wheels. It's got the baby blue, like, caps, that hubcaps, that match the car. White interior. I'm talking baby seal, white interior. No marks. 28,000 original miles.
Wow.
On a car that's 40-something years old. 50 years old?
Was it for sale?
Here we go. Convertible. It's all opened up. I mean, it's sexy. Okay. I'm not even a car guy, but that thing is a huge boat. You fit 18 dead bodies in the trunk.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just sitting there. I'm like, what is this? Right. And on the back, it has a dealer plate.
Oh.
So I call it up. I'm like, hey, man, I don't know if this car is for sale, but I want it. Guy calls me back. I wish I could play the voicemail now. It's an interesting voicemail. But basically he says this was used by an owner of a funeral home, and it was only used in funeral processions.
Oh, wow.
So they'd load the family up in this beautiful car and drive around. That would be it. 28,000 miles on this thing. I mean, it's pristine. And he says, look, this thing's not for sale. But if someone came here with $45,000, I'd entertain it.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, that is insane. A lot more than I thought I'd ever. I can't buy that car.
Yeah.
So I asked Beth, like, what amount of money do we need to make to where that car is like something we could do? What do you number you think she said?
$500,000.
She said 400.
Okay.
Said if we make 400, we can entertain that car. And I was shocked. I thought the number would be like $1 million.
Oh.
For a fun car like that it's really rare. But anyway, but once she's now set a goal to that, I'm even now more fired up to be like,
That's exactly it, though. You're halfway there.
maybe, and that's the idea. I think goal settings. You've told me about. I wasn't a big goal setter. I was just like, let's go. Every day it's just this race to get a bunch of shit done.
Yeah, but then you lose sight of the long term.
It's true.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Anyway, it just fired me up.
Listen, we all have goals of that kind of stuff. I told you the jet goal. You know what I mean? We have an income level. We go once.
Well, that's what I'm getting back to. Yeah, like
once we hit this level, it's
you
like
could almost buy anything that a normal person would want, right?
yeah. And the thing is, like, well, of course, the thing is, like, I look at what we spend, and we don't spend a lot of what we make, hence why the bank got mad at us. But I look at it going, I don't want anything in the world except for this one thing. This jet idea is just like I'm enamored with. And other than that, I'm like,
You don't even have a sports car.
no, I don't. I used to,
Yeah.
but I don't anymore. But because listen, I like sports cars. I think I'll get one at some point. But yeah, it's just I get what I want. It's funny because I looked this up the other night because I was telling Lisa I'm feeling guilty over the things that I have. When I say guilty, I mean like, do I buy the things I have because I want them or because I think they make me look like I'm successful? 10 years ago, it was because it made me look successful. Now I really like sit there and go like, yeah, I want this item. You know what I mean? And I look at that going, okay, I really like this. But the question is that still good or bad? But it said something interesting, which I actually agree. People used to say, like Darnell and Rachman always said, I spend very little for how much I make, which they're true about. My dad thinks I spend too much for how much I make. You know what I mean? It's just all based on where you're coming from, right? But I look at it also going from, I consider myself frugal in the sense that the things I value, I spend money on, but I still look for good deals of them. If I don't value them, I don't care. I have an iPhone 8, right?
It's amazing.
And the funny thing is, if I just sign a 2-year contract, I can get an iPhone 10 for like $200. I have no desire to have an iPhone 10.
Yeah.
This iPhone 8 does very well for me.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine. Technology, Don's looking for refurbished computers for me because I'm like, why should I spend $2,000 on a brand new iMac when I'm like, I can get a refurbished one for $700 that does what I need to do, which is get on the internet and do Microsoft Office. That's all I need it for, right?
Yeah.
So I look at those things thinking, but then I go out and buy a watch, and the watch might be whatever amount of money, and people are like, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, but I really like watches. I still got a good deal on the watch, and I value it. And if I want to sell that watch tomorrow, I'd probably take a 30% hit. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I'd enjoy that watch for 5-10 years. Maybe I'd take a 30, or even if I take a half hit, it's still fine for me, and I wouldn't take a half hit. Like, the watches I buy are pretty good watches, you know what I mean? So I look at those things thinking, spending $30,000 a year to have somebody handle everything in my personal life, all my errands, all everything.
It would take so much time.
It takes so much time.
Just going to the damn grocery store. A couple hours.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. I hate it. They now have that thing where they can deliver your groceries. It's like, I gotta try and figure this out.
Giant Eagle does it. You just go online and select the date and time, and if there's slots available, they do it.
That's what I want.
Or you can go pick it up yourself. They'll get it ready for you.
Yeah, I can't think ahead enough to go do it.
Well, it's funny because the cook lady that I have, she refuses to do that. I'm pretty soon going to be like, okay, Rosie, you're doing this from now on. You're putting the order in. I'll put the order in for you if you want. You just give me the list. But you're not spending an hour and a half in the grocery store anymore. It's too much time. She's like, but I like doing it. I'm like, I don't care.
See, they know where it's at. I can't. I walk around like a zombie trying to figure out where all this shit's at.
Yeah. The other day I went to the grocery store to buy David sunflower seeds. I wanted ranch.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, aisle 6. I'm like, yeah, I was just there. It's not there. He's like, that's where it is. I went there. I'm like, I don't see it. It's nowhere to be found. So I went on Amazon real quick and ordered some. 2-day delivery. Done.
Anyway, that caddy is the caddy of my dreams, baby.
You'll get it.
You think that way? Of course you do.
Of course I do.
I got to learn. I mean, I'm trying to think like you.
Remember, it's the 1 day at a time thing. But you have to have that 1 day at a time going towards the goals you want to have. Look in the last, 2 or 3 days, how many yeses you got from Crustless Creative.
Yeah.
And look at my buddy, I don't even want to say his name because he'll be like, hey, Mason. He tells me about it, updates me on his cold calling because I think cold calling is wonderful.
Yeah.
Made 50 or 60 phone calls today and got 3 answers and 2 appointments set up. That's pretty impressive.
2 for 3 is pretty good.
And he'll make a lot of money, I'm sure, at some point very soon. He said there's some person in his office who's 27 making $2 million a year because she hit some jackpot recruiter company thing or she supplies them with temps or something like that. I don't know what it is.
You mean she's not trading magic cards?
She is not.
All right, dude.
All right, bro.
Good podcast.
Thank you.
We're going to have some guests on next month.
Yeah, we are.
Exciting.
It's going to start.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
We're going to bring a nuclear engineer in. Nuclear engineer. I said nuclear.
Nuclear.
We're going to have some people you've recruited.
And we have indeed reached out to Joe Rogan.
We have, but no response yet.
Anyone who knows Joe Rogan or his people.
What day is that? October 26th?
He's going to be on the podcast Sunday the 27th before he flies home. He will be here.
Is it 26th, though, is our thing?
It is, yes.
Joe Rogan. What time?
7 o'clock, 7 p.m. We're going to go see Joe Rogan in Cleveland, and after which he'll be on our podcast the next day.
Let me text Lisa.
Again, I'm just thinking positively. He most likely won't be on our podcast. What's the percentage, Paul? You think Joe Rogan will be sitting here with us?
What'd you say?
What'd you say?
I was going to say like 1 or 2%.
1 or 2%. So Paul has offered a sizable compensation for his time. So if anyone in the world can get this message to him, Joe, we need you. October 27th, Cleveland, Ohio.
Joe, I'm a libertarian. Seth's becoming a libertarian.
Which I don't even know what that means. So, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Seth.
See you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.